Okay, let's talk personal finances. Ever feel like you're just drowning in paperwork? Bank statements from everywhere, credit card bills, maybe an old loan doc you haven't seen in ages, investment reports. It can be a lot. It's super easy to feel disorganized, maybe a bit lost, right? And yeah, you could hire someone, but that costs money. Or maybe you try spreadsheets, but they just get messy. But what if I told you there's a tool, maybe one you already use for notes or research, that could pull all of that together, give you real clarity instantly? Today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that. How one person, let's call him Alex, totally changed how he managed his money using NotebookLM. Yeah, turning this Google AI tool into like a personal finance expert. Our mission here is to show you how it works, uncover some frankly surprising things it can do, and give you practical ways you might use it to feel more in control, maybe even calmer about your finances. And hey, if you find this deep dive useful, please do hit like, subscribe, maybe click the bell so you don't miss the next one. We also really love hearing from you, so drop your thoughts or ideas for future deep dives in the comments. Seriously, your curiosity fuels what we explore next. Okay, so let's pull back the curtain. First big hurdle, just getting everything in one spot. How does Notebook LM even start to handle all the different types of financial documents we all have?
Right, that's the foundation, isn't it? And what's actually quite effective about NotebookLM is its ability to handle various file types. That makes centralizing things, well, surprisingly doable. It deals with PDFs really smoothly, which is absolutely key.
Because that's how most statements arrive, yeah.
Exactly. Bank statements, credit card statements, those investment reports you mentioned, maybe quarterly summaries from your brokerage, they're almost always PDFs. So you can just drag and drop those right in.
Okay, PDFs are covered, that's huge. But what about other things, like maybe a budget plan someone wrote up, or financial goals?
Good question. That touches on its versatility.
Yeah.
So beyond PDFs, it also plays really nicely with Google Docs. A lot of people might keep, budget notes, maybe summaries of articles they read on retirement, or just simple lists of what I want to achieve financially in a doc. NotebookLM integrates that unstructured text too.
Right, right. So text and PDFs. But the elephant in the room for finance stuff, spreadsheets, we all use them. Google Sheets, Excel.
Yes. Spreadsheets. This is where it gets pretty interesting and shows some user creativity. NotebookLM doesn't directly support spreadsheet files like .xlsx or Google Sheets format, but Alex, the user we mentioned, found a really simple, effective workaround.
Okay, what's the trick?
Just export them as PDFs.
Oh, simple as that.
Yep. So update your monthly budget in Google Sheets or get that investment tracker spreadsheet ready. Just hit export as PDF and boom, it's ready to upload into NotebookLM for analysis.
Huh, that's clever.
It really is. And it kind of highlights how people can adapt tools, even if there's a small limitation.
Yeah.
You find a way. Also, just a practical tip here. If you've got, say, years worth of statements in one massive PDF, it might actually be better to break it down,
How so?
maybe into quarterly files or even monthly. It can just make processing a bit faster inside NotebookLM and keeps your different notebooks or projects more focused and manageable.
Okay, makes sense. So let's say we've done that. We've got our PDFs, our docs, our spreadsheet PDFs all uploaded. Now what? How does it help you actually understand where the money's going? Let's start with bank statements.
Right. So the process itself is pretty straightforward. You download that PDF statement, maybe the whole last financial year's worth from your online banking, upload it into NotebookLM, and then you just start talking to it, asking questions in plain English, almost like you're chatting with a financial advisor.
Okay, intrigued. Give me some examples. What kind of questions actually yield useful answers?
Sure, you can get quite specific, like ask, who are the main entities sending and receiving funds from this account during the financial year 2024-25?
Wow, okay.
Or point out the 5 largest debit transactions from April 2024 to March 2025. Or even summarize all transactions related to Amazon for the past 12 months and tell me the total amount spent.
That last one. That can be scary for some of us. But it brings up a real pain point. Those sneaky recurring charges, subscriptions you forgot about. How good is it at finding those ghost subscriptions?
Oh, this is a fantastic use case. It's actually brilliant at spotting patterns, even when the merchant name is slightly different each time, or the billing date shifts a bit.
Yeah.
Things a human might easily miss scanning quickly.
So like streaming services, gym membership.
Exactly. Those, or maybe some software you subscribed to ages ago and don't use, or even like an old irrelevant IPTV subscription. Ghost subscriptions are a huge silent drain. Alex, the user we talked about, he mentioned it flagged a software renewal he hadn't used in 6 months. Saved him nearly $50 a month right there, something he'd completely forgotten about. A real ghost in the machine.
That's brilliant. Okay, what about credit cards?
Yeah.
Especially if you're juggling, say, cards from different banks. That gets complicated fast.
Yep, very common scenario. The process is pretty much the same for credit card statements. Upload the PDFs. Then you can ask questions that would normally mean digging through, 5 different documents manually.
Like what? Give me an example from multiple cards.
Okay, how about summarize my spending on online shopping across all cards for the last quarter?
Ah, so it consolidates.
Precisely. Gives you that single, unified view. Or you could ask, point out the 5 largest transactions across all my credit cards to see the big-ticket items immediately.
That saves a ton of time, right? Instead of manually adding things up.
Huge amount of time. And it keeps you properly informed about balances, due dates, maybe even spending patterns you weren't aware of.
And what about tracking reward points? Can it help untangle that web too?
Yes, it can definitely help. By summarizing the reward point information that's present on your statements, it can give you a snapshot. It won't magically know points earned outside the statement, but for tracking what's reported. Absolutely. Just streamlines keeping tabs on everything.
Okay, so it's great for day-to-day spending, bank accounts, credit cards. But what about those really dense documents, the ones we maybe avoid reading fully, like loan agreements, investment terms,
Yeah,
the fine print stuff?
right. And this, honestly, is where NotebookLM can be incredibly powerful. Imagine you've got, say, a 10-page home loan agreement PDF. Dense legal language, right?
Yep. Intimidating.
Instead of trying to parse all that yourself, you upload it. Then you ask specific critical questions directly. Like, what are all the charges, fees, and penalties listed in this home loan agreement? Or what are the prepayment charges specifically for individuals?
Okay, that's useful.
You could even ask, are there any processing fees mentioned? Or what documents and approvals does it say are required before each disbursement? Things you absolutely need to know but are buried in jargon.
Wow. So thinking bigger picture, how does that capability actually help when you're making, significant financial decisions?
Well, what it fundamentally does is transform these overwhelming, often opaque documents into clear, actionable information almost instantly. It drastically cuts down the time and, frankly, the mental energy needed to really understand complex agreements. This allows you to make much better, more informed financial decisions. You're moving beyond just tracking numbers to getting a deep contextual understanding of the agreements that really shape your long-term financial health.
It's pretty clear then. We've seen how NotebookLM can really step up and act like your own personal financial expert. It brings clarity, brings control to something that, let's face it, often feels chaotic. For Alex, it started as just, an experiment. But it seems like it genuinely changed his relationship with his finances, getting those instant insights without needing to pay for a traditional advisor.
Absolutely. And it really underscores that knowledge is most powerful when you can actually understand it and apply it. This deep dive really shows that even a tool maybe designed for something else, like general note-taking, can be cleverly adapted to tackle complex personal problems like managing finances. It encourages that kind of critical thinking about how we use the tools available to us.
So for you listening,
Mhm.
what does this all mean? Well, if the idea of getting a real handle on your finances feels daunting, maybe out of reach, this could be a really potent, accessible tool to try out. It's a pretty compelling example of AI simplifying complex personal data, empowering you.
And it raises an important question, doesn't it? What other areas of your life might benefit from this kind of AI-powered organization and insight? Think about anywhere you deal with dense documents or just, information overload. Could be health records, research papers, work projects.
That is a fantastic thought to leave everyone with. Hopefully, this deep dive gave you some concrete insights, maybe some inspiration for leveling up your own money game. We really encourage you to think about your own information overwhelm spots and consider how tools like NotebookLM might just help turn that overwhelm into actionable insight.